everybody. You know what? There is a tremendous amount of topics to tally into alphabetical order in the history of the WWE. So that is what we are trying to do. My name is Tom Campbell, and this is the letter T on the A to Z of WWE. T is for Triple H. Should this have been under H? Maybe in your list it will be. This is my list, so shut up. Hunter Hearst Helmsley burst onto the scene in 1995 as the snobby Connecticut blue blood. A bit of a knock on some of Vince McMahon's neighbours at this point. He was on the ascent, was our Hunter, until the infamous curtain call incident that saw members of the clique all gather together in the ring to say a final farewell to each other before Kevin Nash and Scott Hall went off to WCW. It was Hunter Hearst Helmsley that was punished for this entire act, and we saw him slowly make his way further down the card in the WWF. Couldn't keep him down though. He would bounce all the way back up, and in 1997 he would become the WWF King of the Ring. He'd become the Intercontinental Champion in that time as well, and he would be one of the inaugural members of D-Generation X alongside Shawn Michaels and Chyna. Triple H took the reins from Shawn Michaels in 1998 and guided D-Generation X through the Attitude Era until 1999 when he sold out to Vince McMahon's corporation. Triple H was reborn as The Game in 1999 when he became the WWF Heavyweight Champion. He would go on to win that belt and different incarnations of it, a grand total of 14 times during his active in-ring career. Over the years, he would reunite with D-Generation X, he would lead the McMahon-Helmsley regime alongside his real-life wife, Stephanie McMahon. He would lead Evolution into battle on Monday Night Raw, and he would be the spearhead of the Authority, very much becoming a modern-day Vince McMahon in the process. He would emulate his father-in-law both in the ring and outside it, as he now plays an integral part in the growth of WWE, in particular the NXT brand. Triple H is an important T to NXT, as is this T, TakeOver, which became the periodical pay-per-view-esque presentation for NXT on the WWE network. The first of which was in 2014, which saw Adrian Neville defending his NXT championship against Tyson Kidd in the main event. For the first time ever, TakeOver left Full Sail in 2015 as NXT TakeOver Brooklyn played to a packed-out Barclays Center. History was made once again the following month at NXT TakeOver Respect when Sasha Banks and Bayley went one-on-one in a 30-minute Iron Woman match for the NXT Women's Championship. It was the first time in the history of WWE that the Women's Championship has main evented a major show. December that year saw NXT TakeOver go across the pond as we had NXT London, and in 2019 it went to Canada for the first time with NXT TakeOver Toronto. TakeOver shows have become a beast unto themselves in recent years, where we'll have on special weekends a TakeOver show on a Saturday and a major WWE pay-per-view on a Sunday. And normally, the NXT product outshines the main show. Don't tell the Raw and SmackDown guys I said that. They'll be well sad. This next T saw WWE give the fans literally whatever they wanted. Kinda, sorta. T is for Taboo Tuesday. Back in 2004, WWE put on a pay-per-view in which you, at home, logged onto WWE.com to determine what went down. You got to choose who would face Triple H for the World Heavyweight Championship. You got to decide whether Randy Orton and Ric Flair would take part in a submission match, a Falls Count Anywhere match, or a steel cage match. It was also the night that Shelton Benjamin was voted the man to challenge Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship, and it was the night that Shelton Benjamin became the Intercontinental Champion. The following year was a bit more fun, as fans would choose which of the three faces of Foley would face Carlito, Mankind, Dude Love, or Cactus Jack. They also got to choose whether Batista, who was subbing in for Stone Cold Steve Austin, was going to face Jonathan Coachman in a debate, an arm wrestling match, or a street fight. No prizes for guessing which one won. Taboo Tuesday was replaced by Cyber Sunday, and then it was very quietly dropped. They are worth checking out on the WWE network just for how dated the whole concept of it looks. Like the big keyboard on the ramp. Like, look at that! Like, that is just so early noughties, is it not? One-on-one matches are tough enough, but hoy an extra person in there and you've got yourself the next T, a triple threat match, the first of which took place on Monday Night Raw in 1997, pitting Goldust against Hunter Hearst Helmsley against Owen Hart with the Intercontinental Championship on the line. The jeopardy of a triple threat match is if you are the champion, you don't have to be pinned to lose your championship belt. You could have the other two guys, one pin the other, and you're not the champion anymore. The jeopardy of a triple threat. There has been hundreds of incredible triple threat matches over the years, but for some reason, the pay-per-view Vengeance tends to bring out some of the absolute best in triple threat matches. 2002, The Rock versus Kurt Angle versus The Undertaker. Bang. Vengeance 2003, Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar versus The Big Show. Bang. Vengeance 2005, John Cena versus Chris Jericho versus Christian. Bang! Hundreds more. Triple threat matches are at their best when the jeopardy is at its highest. Not only when the champion has their belt on the line, but whether they're against their two greatest adversaries, where you'll have moments in a triple threat match where you will see two hated rivals team up on another and then start battering each other. You may tell I quite like a good triple threat match. Less fighting, more chatting, as T is for talk shows, a classic wrestling trope that gave WWE superstars a chance to get on the mic, show off their skills, and interview friends and enemies alike. The best talk shows always feature a little bit of a ruck as well, like Piper's Pit, when Roddy Piper smashed a coconut over Jimmy Snuka's head, like the Snake Pit, when the Honky Tonk Man brained Jake Roberts with a guitar, like the Funeral Parlor, where Jay Roberts DDT'd Paul Bearer while The Undertaker was trapped with his hand in a coffin, like the Barbershop, where Shawn Michaels threw Marty Jannetty's head through the window, like the Highlight Reel, where Chris Jericho threw Shawn Michaels' head through the Jeritron. Those are just a few moments from just a few of the talk shows in the history of the company. I've not even mentioned the Flower Shop with Adrian Adonis, the Brother Love Show, the King's Court, the Heartbreak Hotel, the Cutting Edge, the Peep Show, the Kevin Owens Show, A Moment of Bliss, the Abraham Washington Show, remember that one? The Ambrose Asylum, just a few. And I reckon in about 10 years' time when we do this list again, I'll probably be able to name you another 19. This next T didn't have a talk show, but he could probably afford one if he wanted. T is for Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Oh, that laugh that just sends chills through your backbone. Ted DiBiase, a wrestling legend, was part of the WWF very much during the Hulkamania era as the $1 Million Man who would take time out of his busy schedule wrestling to embarrass members of the crowd for money. Offering them paltry sums of cash to do degrading things like kiss his feet, try and bounce a basketball, all kind of manner of things. People hated the $1 Million Man. His attempts to buy the WWF Championship though were for naught, so he ended up creating his own belt, the $1 Million Championship, which we talked about in a previous list. The $1 Million Championship that was lost and regained from his former servant Virgil and would end up on the shoulder of the likes of Steve Austin in 1996 and his own son Ted DiBiase Jr. many years later. Ted DiBiase became a champion in 2019 as well when he bought the 24/7 championship from Alundra Blaze, proving that everybody's got a price for the $1 Million Man. Shall I do the laugh again? Talking of championships, how about two at the same time, as T is for Tag Team Championships. Now, the lineage of the company's tag titles is quite convoluted, so bear with. The first WWF Tag Team Champions were Luke Graham and Tarzan Tyler in 1971. Those belts were recognized for all the way through the modern era and all the way through until around about 2010 when the Hart Dynasty unified it with the SmackDown Tag Team titles that were born in 2002. And those are the tag titles that are now on Monday Night Raw. So that is where the lineage sort of crosses over a little bit. Out of all the great players that have held different iterations of the tag team titles, the best of all, by the numbers, is Kofi Kingston. who has held tag team gold in the WWE for over 1,000 days in different iterations, teaming with guys like CM Punk, Evan Bourne, R-Truth, and of course, as part of the New Day. Tag team wrestling brought us two great T's to the company. The first T being the table match. The Dudley Boys in 1999 made their company debut after spending many years upsetting a lot of people as top baddies in ECW. Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley quickly proved they had a bit of a penchant for putting people through plywood. The table match very much became the Dudley Boys thing, and they contested in the first ever table match at the 2000 Royal Rumble against the Hardy Boys. It was a demolition derby of human bodies, to quote the cliche. The rules of a table match are simple, of course. Your object is to put every member of your opposing team through a table to win. So you can imagine some of the carnage that was unleashed on Madison Square Garden on the night of the first ever table match. The table match isn't strict property of the Dudleys though, as Sheamus won his first ever WWE Championship by defeating John Cena in a table match. A table is 1/3 of our next T, TLC. Tables and ladders and chairs, oh my! Tables and ladders and chairs, oh my! Not just a brilliant Wizard of Oz pun, but also one of the most devastating matches in the WWE history. The first time this ironic acronym was uttered was at SummerSlam 2000, when Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys tore each other apart in the first ever TLC match for the Tag Team Championships. They would get a second go around at TLC 2 at WrestleMania 17. It became a very regular occurrence and wasn't just for tag teams now. Pretty much everybody's having a go at the TLC match. It's even become its own pay-per-view. In fact, it wouldn't be Christmas without decking the halls with boughs of holly, without carol singers, and without somebody going through a table after being thrown off a ladder and then hit with a chair. So that's T on the A to Z of WWE. Next time, you will feel the power of the warrior. Bye! Bye! Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. You can support us on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic. Lastly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.